the Shaykh has asked, sometimes Salafis may backbite non-Salafis from the general people. What is the ruling on this?
لا يجوز للمسلم أن يغتاب مسلما. هذا هو الأصل، الحرمة.
The basic rule is that it's not permissible for a Muslim to backbite another Muslim. This is the basic rule.
وقد ذكرنا النصوص والأدلة على ذلك.
And we already mentioned the proofs and the textual evidence showing that.
ونبقى على الأصل أن الغيبة حرام.
And this is the principle that we remain on. That ghiba, backbiting is haram.
لكن استثنى العلماء بعض المواضع وهي 6 مواضع مشهورة.
Yet, the scholars of Islam did mention certain circumstances where it's permissible to speak ill of others. And they mentioned 6 specific occasions.
وهي مذكورة في قول الناظم والقدح ليس بغيبة في 6.
And they are mentioned in the lines of poetry that say القدح ليس بغيبة في 6, that disparaging someone is not considered backbiting in 6 circumstances.
متظلم ومعرف ومحذر ومجاهر. نأخذ واحدة إذن. متظلم.
The first one, متظلم, and the Shaykh is going to explain it.
وهو الذي يذهب إلى القاضي يذكر أنه ظلم من فلان ظلمني أخذ أرضي أخذ مالي.
And that is the person who goes to the judge in a court and says, so and so has wronged me. So as a result, he is to mention what the person has done wrong. So he's speaking ill of him. This is the first one, متظلم.
ومعرف.
And the second one is معرف.
هو الذي يأتي ويطلب منه ماذا تعرف عن فلان. هو تقدم يريد أن يتزوج أختي، ماذا تعرف عنه؟ فيقول هذا جيد أو يقول هذا غير جيد، هذا بخيل.
And that is the person who is asked about somebody else for a particular reason. Maybe a person is interested in marrying a certain individual, so they ask someone, what do you know about that person? So he says, he's a good person, or he's a stingy person, or he speaks about that person in a negative way.
ومحذري.
And the third one is muhadhiri.
كالتحذير من أهل الباطل وأهل البدع.
And this is the case of warning against the people of falsehood and the people of innovation.
ومجاهر فسقا، يعني الذي يجاهر بالكبائر هذا أيضا يغتاب.
And the fourth category is al-mujahiru fisqan, the person who openly engages in major sins publicly.
ومستفتن.
And the fifth category is the person who has been asked for a fatwa.
كأن تأتي المرأة وتستفتي العالم تقول له مثلا زوجي بخيل، هل يجوز لي أن أخذ من ماله؟
For example, a woman goes to the judge and says, as an example, my husband is a stingy person. Is it permissible for me to take money from him without him knowing? Seeking fatwa. And as a result, embedded in the question, is necessary to speak ill of someone else.
والأخير هو من طلب الإعانة في إزالة منكر، يعني يقول أعني على إزالة المنكر فإن فلانا يشرب الخمر أو يصنع كذا فيذكره.
And the last one is seeking aid in order to remove harm or evil somewhere else. For example, you say to somebody, help me sort this problem out. So and so is involved, for example, with XYZ evil deed. And we need to go and stop him from doing it. As a result, the person has been exposed. This is a permissible time.
وكذلك يدخل في الغيبة في قوله ومعرف الشخص الذي لا يعرف إلا بأمر، وهذا الأمر قد يكون غير جيد أو لا يحبه عند الناس، لكن لا يعرف إلا به. كأن تقول فلان فيقال من فلان؟ فلان الأعرج. هو أعرج في الحقيقة، لكن ذكرته من أجل أن تعرف به الناس. هو لن يعرفه إلا إذا ذكر صفة له، فقال الأعرج أو الطويل أو القصير، هذا لا بأس إذا كان للتعريف فقط.
The third point, which was al-mu'arrifi, that one where a person seeks information about another individual. If the Shaykh says that a particular person is only known with a certain description or a character or characteristic, someone says, I'm talking about so and so, and you say, who's that person? Which so and so? Khalid, which Khalid? You say, the short one, or the one with the broken leg, or one leg. The one-legged Khalid, in Arabic you say al-A'raj. He didn't say it to dispraise him, make fun of him, but the one on crutches, for example, we might say in English you might say the one on crutches. So then it's not to dispraise him or to make fun of him, but to make ta'rif of him or to specify which person you're talking about. In that case it's allowed, specifically it's allowed.
اضرب لهم مثالا بأويس الطويل.
Shaykh wants to bring Awais al-Tawil into it. Shaykh Awais, say for example, he is our brother, Allah yahfadhu, he is evidently tall, and when someone says Awais, there may be more than one Awais that people know, so they say, which Awais are you talking about? So they may say to each other, Awais al-Tawil, meaning the tall one. So this is not to speak ill of him.
هذا ليس من الغيبة.
This is not backbiting.
لكن لو سئلت عن شخص وذكرت شيئا هو ليس فيه هذا بهتان.
Yet if you described someone in a way that was not even true about him, then this is slander. This is buhtan.
لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الحديث نفسه سئل قال يا رسول الله أفرأيت إن كان ما قلت فيه قال فقد اغتبته وإن لم يكن فيه فقد بهته.
Because when the Prophet ﷺ was asked about backbiting and its meaning, he said, mentioning something about your brother that he dislikes. And the man said to the Prophet ﷺ, supposing it's true what I'm saying. Prophet ﷺ said, then that is backbiting. That is backbiting. If you said something about it that's true, that's backbiting. And if it is not true, then that's slander. Hafidhahullah, Shaykh.